first ordeal. David, thank you for taking the time to do this.
Thanks for having me.
Yep. And I first want to start off with you telling our audience or giving our audience your best piece of advice to a buyer looking to purchase for the home.
You know, I would say right now, don't be fearful of the news that you're reading, but instead maybe look at the hard data. We've had a lot of things that have happened in the history of the country, and one thing that's happened in every single recession, and I don't think anybody that's been to Kroger lately can say that we're not having high inflation, is that housing prices have gone up. The only time that they didn't was in 2010, and that was actually caused by the housing industry, the subprime market crash. That was caused by irresponsible lending. So if you kind of throw that out as an oddball event, every single time housing prices have gone up. Even in the Great Depression with the Dust Bowl going on and all the people that were displaced, housing prices went up 15% during the Great Depression. So we have a lot of drivers going on in the market. We might see values fall in other areas of the country, but we still have over 1,600 people a day moving here. We have all these Fortune 500 companies coming in from California. We're coming off of a 6-year housing shortage, and it's just, it's just simple mathematics. It's supply and demand. There's no way that people are going to quit buying houses.
What options do you provide to buyers who are concerned about the rates?
We've done some focus groups at the company, and the owner of our company, Sean Broussard, is just a brilliant guy, and he says, hey, how do we help people in this market to give them the tools that we need and to give them the protection that they need in a volatile market? And two of the things that they've come up with, I'm really proud to be able to offer. One is a lock and shop program to where we can fully underwrite somebody up front, and then we can guarantee them an interest rate for the next 90 days. So it gives them time to find a house. And if, perhaps, I don't think it's going to happen, but if the rates drop during that period, we'll allow them to free float down to take advantage of the low rate. So I would say that's one. And probably the second facet of that, right now there's a lot of concern because even Fannie came out in the last 2 weeks and said, hey, we expect rates to settle down in the mid-fours within the next year or so. Expect rates to settle down in the mid-fours or so. So a lot of people are saying, well, hey, if rates are going to come down, I'm going to wait. But it's a zero loss game because the prices are expected to go up another 10% in our market. So the phrase, marry the house and buy the rate, has never been more true. But if they're concerned about those rates getting lower and that equity strip of having to refinance, we've got them covered on that too, because we have a program called Rate Lock Protection. So as long as they make 6 full payments, if rates go down at least half a point at any time within the next 3 calendar years, we waive all of their fees and even pay for the appraisal to refinance them pretty much for free.
We interrupt your regularly scheduled programming to bring you this. So I wanted to make sure that you guys understood what Mr. Mitchell said. He said that they have a rate lock protection program that in the event the rates go down at least half a point within 3 calendar years, as long as you've made 6 full payments, the appraisal is paid for by them, and the fees typically associated with refinancing are waived. So you're on your way to a lower interest rate, and you didn't have to give up any of the equity in your home to refinance or come out of pocket with anything. That sounds like a win-win. I just had to make sure that y'all understood what the man was saying. Great segue, because my next question was, what makes your company stand out from other lenders? So besides that, which is awesome all on its own, what other ways would you?
Well, I think it's in the name. It's service first. We average close times of around 21 days. The co-branding, the marketing, the support that we give to the agents is industry leading. I answer my phone when it rings on a personal basis.
I love it already. And he does.
It's just simply a matter of service and being able to give the agents the support that they need in this market, because everybody's scared. But like I said, when you look at the hard data right now, it's not a time to be sitting it out in fear on the sidelines. It's a time to get out there and start taking some forfeited ground.
So how would the communication process work with you guys for a buyer? How do you keep them in the loop?
Well, I'm in constant communication with them, and as I say, I'm kind of the guard at the gate for the pre-qualifications. I try to get them out within 24 hours. once again, understand sometimes you're going to have somebody at 7 o'clock one Sunday night that needs that house offer, and we're going to get on it for you. But I always joke about the snake in the woodpile, right? I want to know if the snake's in there before I stick my hand in there, or what I call a deal-killing condition. So I ask the hard questions up front. I want you to know that if you see a pre-qualification letter from me floating around in the market, it's gold. We do a good job. But once that file comes in, one of the things that allows us to move very quickly is Service First actually processes, they call it a non-linear approach, to where instead of it going to setup and to this and to processing and to underwriting, it's like they all have different permissions to make changes, but there's actually 6 people jumping on that file the second it comes in to make sure that all the disclosures go out quickly, that the appraisal is ordered on time, and that that file is moving as quickly as possible. After that, we do weekly updates with our agents. If anything happens that you need to know, of course, I'm not going to wait till next Tuesday to call you. I'm going to let you know right then. But we have a loan officer, assistant, and processing team that stays in constant communication, real time with the borrowers if they need anything. So the communication is absolutely there.
Sounds like it's really solid.
It's extremely solid. It makes things extremely quick. It keeps everything well informed, and above all, it just sets proper expectations so the clients know what to expect. Therefore, they stay happy, and we have happy people that are likely to refer us, both you and I, into the transaction, which is our goal.
That's what we want.
A good, predictable outcome, as my boss says. The certified cash buyer is kind of unique because there's a bunch of other things on the market. Some of them charge the consumer up to 3 to 5 points. And all it says is, hey, if our buyer doesn't close, we guarantee that we'll come in and buy the house. Well, you look at the fine print and it says, well, we're going to pay appraised value for it. Well, what does the seller care? What about those other 30 offers that they had that were not accepted, that were above? So Service First, what we do is a little bit different. We charge 2 points for this, but when they close the loan, we give them 1 back. So it only costs them 1 point to operate as a cash buyer. It's for people that have plenty of money to get in the bidding war, but they can't actually pay cash for the house. So what we do, say you want to pay $700,000 for a $500,000 house, that's great, as long as you're willing to escrow that extra $200,000 with me for 7 days, which gives you plenty of time to back out if it doesn't look like it's going to appraise. But all that the seller knows that this company named Home Orbit, which once again is owned by Sean Broussard, Service First Mortgage, came in and paid that way over asking price with absolutely 0 contingencies. And it closed in under 19 days. So all of a sudden, that person is looked at as a bona fide cash offer. They don't even know that we've already pre-underwritten that person and we're just giving it to them as a loan within the next hour. I mean, it's an industry-leading product. If you do that certified buyer program, which also gets into certified cash, which we can cover later, and allows them to do that lock-in shop to protect their rate for 90 days, they are fully underwritten up front. So at that point, once we've fully underwritten the buyer, the only thing that we need is a property and an appraisal. So those loans are guaranteed to close in 19 days or less.
Okay, because it cuts down on all the time because you do it up front.
Yes, we have completely pre-underwritten them.
So beyond the VA and FHA and conventional, what other loan products do you offer?
Gosh, we have all the outlier stuff. You know, once again, the owner of Service First actually owns a couple of other banks. So, you know, when you have a privately held company, I kind of like to say we're right size. We're big enough that we play in any arena, but we're still small enough that we can have real people making real decisions. And we have a near miss program, like you might have somebody, it's a fantastic conventional loan, that maybe they're just a couple of months short on their job. It's like, we might go ahead and decide to fund that loan and then just sit on it and then sell it, you know, in 2 months when it fits within those guidelines. Common sense people that can make common sense calls. And then as far as going outside of the box, we do the land loans, we do the lot loans, we do the construction, we do the ITIN, and the things that we don't do within our own series of banks, we're able to broker out. So we really do, I mean, what we do best, of course, like anybody else, is the bread and butter, get them closed fast. But when you do have those outlier products, we do have sources for them.
Guys, we want to make sure that you heard that they do land loans. Okay, we
Yes.
have a lot of clients who like to purchase land and want to figure out, because not everybody does that.
No.
Not everybody does land loans. Okay, perfect. So thank you so much for your time. We appreciate you sitting down with us and talking to our audience and letting them know a little bit more about the services that you provide and yourself as well, along with the company. So thank you. Are there any other things that you'd like to leave our audience with?
On the construction thing, if you've got something and you've got a client you're going through new construction, whether you're doing a loan with me or not, if you just want a quick set of eyes on it, FaceTime me. I'll be glad to take a look at that. And then if you have a client that's on the fence and they're just not seeing the bigger picture of what's going on with the economy and the housing opportunities that are suddenly available. And I joke with people, I say this, I say, hey, you know, we used to have those 40 offers on every house and only one of them got it. Well, now we can get those other 39 people in a house. And I mean, that's what's going on. But if you have somebody that just, you want to say, hey, why don't you talk to the guy on the finance side of this transaction? If you're having a hard time getting somebody off the fence, put them on the phone with me. I'd love to have a chat with them and see if we can get them moving, because I really do think the people that are sitting this out of unfounded fear are missing out on some huge opportunities in real estate right now.
I agree.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just fear. It's
Right.
just fear.
We have to educate them and make them see what's really going on.
We do. And so, guys, I want to let you know that I have taken his new construction class, so now I am a new construction certified agent,
Yes.
just FYI. And so thank you so much. You want to leave the people with a contact number for you? I'm going to drop it down in the description, but I want him to be able to get it to you guys as well.
Sure. It's 281-900-9859. Email is dmitchell with 2 L's at sfmc.com. That stands for Service First Mortgage Corporation.
All right, and I'll drop it down again. I'll link it in the description for you guys to make it easier for you. But thank you so much, and I appreciate it.
Oh, thank you so much. Love
All right,
working with
guys.
you.
See you
All
later.
right.
Bye-bye.